Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on crypto. Hope all is well with you and yours. So we've got a lot to unpack, but do me a favor. If you like what I'm doing, you like what I'm giving to you, taking you along my journey with my kids, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and definitely hit the notification bell so that you know when I'm dropping a new video. So let's dig in. So as you know, a little while ago, Binance, I think it was May 2nd or May 4th. So I think it happened May 2nd. I told you about it on May 4th. Or was made public on May 4th, Binance got approved to actually operate in France. Cool. Today, June 28th, France's Autorité des Marchés, Autorité des Marchés Financiers, AMF basically, is under fire for approving Binance. I want you to take that in because Binance had to jump through a whole lot of hoops to get there, right? Whether you like Binance as a company or not, I happen to, use their services from time to time. No, they don't pay for anything here, but they jump through all the hoops, and you have to think about it. Just moving, everything always moving, nothing really solid because there is no real strong regulation. They finally get there. They finally do everything that they're supposed to do. They get approved. Awesome. And now the AMF is catching flack because they approve them. You sit there and you just kind of go, this is why regulation around crypto is so, in a state of disarray, like doesn't exist basically. But what does exist is still messy. Part of the EU doesn't like crypto, but people do. So there's that, cross section of issues that go on there. But really, it tells you that, the world did not react well to, crypto, and it needs to start reacting. Then you have Christine Lagarde. She is the head of the European Central Bank. And she's like, there needs to be regulation around, DeFi, DeFi lending. I'm sitting there and going, yeah. Some kind of rule, some kind of something, whatever. I think the world's governments are going to be, their hands are going to be pushed to doing it because I told you before, Goldman Sachs is trying to get into DeFi. They're trying to, snatch up the assets of Celsius. You've got Citi, who's trying to tokenize different commodities. You have JP Morgan, an arm of JP Morgan doing the same thing. And you sit there and you just go, there's a huge amount of money that's going to be coming. And it's a different kind of money. It's real money, right? Basically, they're going to lend these assets to the pools, real assets, and that's what's going to back up the loans that are going out there in that DeFi space. So that's a very big deal. And when you think about the regulation that isn't there, I think regulation will come when the big boys start playing and start realizing. And I just sit there and just kind of go, hopefully the regulations will be appropriate and clear. Just like Hester Price said. Hester Pierce and Charles Hoskinson. Appropriate and clear. FTX. This is what made me crack up yesterday. I mean, I had a couple of people ask me, how come I didn't talk about Robinhood yesterday? And I said, because, it's much ado about nothing. And guess what? Today, FTX comes out and says, yeah, it's much ado about nothing. Now, that's not to say that sooner or later they don't get into an M&A deal, but they're saying right now there are no M&A talks. So if there are no M&A talks, shut up. That's what they're telling the press because they don't want things to be inflated or conflated or, anything misconstrued. They do own a large percentage of Robinhood, but that's not to say that they're actually going to, want to buy Robinhood. They're in a good position to do so. But those conversations would have to start somewhere, and I don't know that they're started. They're actually saying that they haven't. Cool. Then you have eBay. eBay's just been tanking for a while, right? Goldman Sachs earlier this month, June 8th or something like that, downgraded them to a sell. There was somebody else earlier today, another company, downgraded them to a sell. So they're getting downgraded all over the place. But the other day I reported that they, snatched up KnownOrigin, NFT marketplace. And now today it comes out that they've got a whole bunch of patents and trademarks coming out, in the metaverse. I'd like to get a better picture about what's going on there, what they plan on doing. That would be very, very interesting. Just because you have an online store doesn't mean that you need to have an online store in a metaverse. So I'm interested to find out specifically what they're trying to do, the kind of products they would bring or something else. But, they're trying to make the right moves to remain or regain their relevance. In my book, I'm not investing in eBay, anytime soon. TikTok. Well, the owner of TikTok, ByteDance, merged with, basically they were partnering. Basically, it wound up being that they merged, and they created a new company called, so far being dubbed, Wave Particle Technology. They've been investing in, ByteDance has been investing in VR gear, basically headgear. So there's a lot that they're trying to do, and it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out with TikTok, and what they might do with the tech that they just basically purchased, right? But headgear, I mean, how many? So my company, Rebel Visions, is on the Metaverse Standards Forum. We're part of that forum. We're principals in that forum, which means we, help to think about what the interoperability guidelines are going to be and all that good stuff. So I'm very interested to see how that would actually play out, right? What they plan on doing and how they plan on doing it. How many VRs, VR headsets are going to be, used in what metaverses and what interoperability they could bring. Because now I wasn't thinking about it before, simply because there weren't so many, but now there are starting to be so many companies looking at gear and everything else. So how do you create standards so that gear that you're wearing in this metaverse can still be used in this metaverse, so on and so forth? How can it be created in a way that's open and usable? So right now, I think the forum has about 700 companies plus involved. So it's going to be interesting to see, to hear everybody's thoughts. And we're talking about large companies, small companies, but all of the companies having a major impact on what's going on. So I pay very close attention to what's going on, when the word metaverse is used. So it's going to be interesting. There's a very broad spectrum of services and uses and utility that a metaverse can bring, right? You can have a medical metaverse over here. You can have a gaming one over there. You can have just different kinds of things going on, and how they interoperate, if at all, right, is going to wind up being a very big deal. Now, now something else that I noticed is that Circle, the parent of USDC, stablecoin backed by, actual assets, they got into a deal with New York Community Bancorp, which is, the parent company of New York Community Bank. They've given them the right to be a custodian of USDC. The partnership also brings to the table the idea of introducing low-cost solutions to, the underserved and the unbanked, basically people who don't have bank accounts. And I was thinking about this, and I just said, wow. So when I look at the Bitcoin Academy, that's kind of a big deal, right? Because the Bitcoin Academy is there to try to educate people, and now here's another group that's trying to provide services. So I think when you look at everything put together, there's a movement to get more people involved and more people educated about crypto, about the tech that's in the space. And I think people really should take advantage of learning more, right? And that, leads into my next article, which is, Cathie Wood agrees with me. Or I agree with Cathie Wood. She's way smarter than I am, just saying. She believes that, algorithmic stablecoins are not really going to have a place in the future. I firmly believe that. But more importantly, we were talking, well, not we were talking, but I had been talking with a few friends about, NFTs and what you could do with NFTs and that utility, and, the idea of, having those rights, those copyright, those digital assets. And I just said, wow, that's going to be big. And Cathie Wood said the same thing. She was like, yeah, that could be big. And what else we agree on is there's certain utility and ownership rights to NFTs and, even the metaverse space that can help to bring not just people, but whole nations out of poverty. Those ownership rights. So there's a lot going on with the technology, with the cryptocurrencies, just in that general space that tells me that there is a huge future. And it's not just about investing in, the tech that's out there and the monetary investment that you can make, to earn money. It's the investment in knowledge. Right? I keep telling people, you got to do your own research. You have to do your own research. I do my own research so I can grow my bag. And I'm hoping that it's making you do the same. Because it's about obtaining that knowledge. If you just blindly do what somebody tells you to do, you'll just get robbed. I mean, unless you're extremely lucky, you'll just wind up getting robbed. Do you know how many athletes just blindly listened to financial advisors and just got robbed? How many famous people, other famous people? Do your own research so you at least, are capable of joining in the conversation. Because if you don't join the conversation is going to happen without you or with you. Get the knowledge. In a lot of cases, it's even free. You have people like me that are speaking. You have Bitcoin Academy. You have Khan Academy. You have a lot of places that are giving information away and education away for free. It takes almost nothing to take advantage of that. Do your own research that when you do your investments or you start making moves or you want to see your family doing better, you're in a place, at least headwise, where you can. This is what I try to teach my kids. This is what I try to teach myself every day. So let's dig into the numbers, because the numbers have been, everything that goes up must come down. Eventually what goes down must come back up. So let's take a look. So let me just refresh this just so you can see what's going on. Pretty much there. Now you can see that, not so great, but not so bad either. I mean, who's here that's having a bad day? Harmony's not having such a good day. Not surprising because they just got hacked the other day. Pocket Network, not surprising. Celsius, come on, really? Let's see. Near Protocol, but look at the change, 6%. I'm not going to be stressed about that. Winners and losers on this side. We stop right about here. My 5% rule. If it's 5% or less, I'm not paying so much attention to it, right? Terra Classic USD, I'm not touching that. No. Is there anybody else here that's not doing so great? No really big names. I mean, ApeCoin is up 4%, but do I really count that? In a long string of things, I look at those prices, right? Let's talk about the Fear and Greed Index. It's at 10 now. Earlier this morning is at 11. What was it? Yesterday was at 14, or the day before is at 14. So we're still in extreme fear. I kind of look at the bigger boxes, right? We're in extreme fear. That's just the way it is for right now. You have, let's just refresh this page. I'm pretty sure it's still at about 76. Oh, my bad. Lost $1 billion in a heartbeat just there. But it's at 75. We're kind of hovering around that same space, kind of maintaining evenly across there. So that to me is not so bad. Given everything that's going on, to me, it's not so bad. Looking at my bands, we were above the band for a little while, and then we've come back down. We've come back down dramatically. We're still in the upper part of my inner band, but it is lower, right? So we're at 20,276. Not a great place, but not such a bad place. I was looking at sand earlier because they had gone down, and I wanted to see why. Just give it a second for the page to refresh. I like seeing the pictorial view because it gives me a quick glance of the whole market to see how good it is, how bad it is. Today is a day where you're going to you're seeing individual movements as well as broader spectrum movements. Ethereum is still kind of holding its own. Now, that number bothers me because I don't want it to dip down into the 1000s, but it most likely will. Again, I told you before, I did it the other day. I would buy in if it goes lower. That's the plan. Every time it dips, I'm going to buy. Doge is down. It was up, a significant amount. Now it's down a bit. I was paying attention to that. I did dip my toe back into Doge a bit. SHIB, I have not gotten back into, but I probably will, because I expect when Doge rises, SHIB will also rise, even though they're different tech, right? Yeah, something to think about. But that's what I'm looking at. You know my list of coins that are out there. The usual. You can go back to one of my old videos and you'll see the list of coins that I'm interested in. You could even look right here. We've obviously Bitcoin, Ethereum. Basically right now, as of this minute, lying flat. For the past 24 hours, but Ethereum's been up for the past 7 days, almost 7.5%. You're not going to get that in a bank. Just pay attention to what you're buying into, right? I don't have a lot of Ripple, but I do have some up over 7%. I do have Cardano. Not feeling happy over the past 7 days, but I'm happy that I didn't take such a big hit. I have room to go up. That's what I like about it. I also like the fact that Cardano you won't hear anything about Cardano for big spans of time, and it'll maintain or it'll dip a little bit, and then out of nowhere they've done something. So right now I'm looking at, well, what's up with the hard fork? We already know that, reported a few days ago. You'll see where that goes. Solana, I have a problem with Solana, and it's because I've said it before. It's because they go down a lot. They've been down, so that bothers me. But here's what's funny though: as Solana starts to take a dive down, Cardano might actually take a step up, especially where NFTs are concerned. So that's something to pay attention to. Again, we're looking at these dynamics and where everything is going, and you should pay really close attention. If Shiba Inu adds another 0, this 1 goes down to a 9, I'm gonna buy in because it'll be a huge increase. Looking at Avalanche, I still like Avalanche. I'm in love with Polygon. It's that whole connective tissue thing. So if there's a dip, I'm in. You can almost guarantee that. But you have other things like Chainlink is another favorite of mine. But you can look from across the board. Just in the past 24 hours, you've got a lot of things that are going down. Well, you just pay attention right here. Even as a clear example, here's Polygon down almost 7% or 6.5% for the day, and then you look at the 7-day, and it's still up 26%. So in 7 days, you made over a quarter of your money back. I'm just saying, Uniswap up. They had news. Chronos up. Why? Don't know. But they were up 7.5% for the few days, for 7 days. And you sit there and you just go, pay attention. Again, I have a private one and I have a public one in terms of my wallets. What I'm going to trade on an all the time basis, or per diem, and then I have what I'm not going to trade. Do your own research and let's get it going. Anyway, this is Eddie J on Crypto. If you like what I'm doing, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and absolutely hit the notification bell so you know when I'm dropping a new video. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.